How's it going, everybody? So, you're probably seeing this base and thinking, oh, finally, Vice makes a base that is practical for solo duo players to build. Well, I have bad news for you, my friend. This is still meant to be a base for clans, just an auxiliary snow farming base for a large group. It's designed around two things, having a very nice mini-copter hangar at the top, as well as being buildable from one inventory of materials. This means you can fly over with all of the materials for the base, slap it down, and have the base up and going very quickly. With that being said, it is still a 2x2, so if you want to make this your solo main base, sure, go ahead. It's not the most defensive, only taking like 15 rockets to raid, so I wouldn't recommend it as a main base, but it does do a good job of keeping your farm safe from people just looking to fire 4 rockets and get a bunch of boxes. I've also designed it to look roleplayery as hell to discourage people from wanting to raid it. Mezzy and I have built this base pretty much exactly quite a few times when playing for clans, and it functions really well. This here is all the materials that you will need to build this base. This includes space for a gun, some meds and ammo so you can defend yourself, as well as your building plan and hammer. You only need to take over one door because you can seal the base up and then craft up some more doors while you're over there. You don't need to take over a bunch of boxes, you can just take over some metal and some wood. You also need 12 gears for all of the garage doors. You don't have to take these over at the start, but it does help. This is a pretty simple base, so it will be a quick video. Let's get into it. To start, you're going to slap down these extremely complicated foundations. This is a 2x2. That means 2 squares on either side, followed by 2 more squares, forming 4 total squares. Place walls all around and upgrade everything to stone. You can slap down a front door with a code lock on it and put your TC in this corner here. You can put down a sleeping bag right by the door and your level 1 workbench right by the TC. Right by the workbench you can place down your first furnace to cook up metal ore. Queue up a bunch of large boxes to craft and let's get to building the loot room. This base doesn't have the TC in the loot room, rather it's in the other corner to make more space for boxes. This base uses this 12-box loot room layout, where 2 large boxes are in the back, followed by another large box in the front. This gives you 3 boxes per half floor, totaling 12 boxes. Once that is done, you can repeat the same steps on the other side. Once the loot rooms are done, you can place down some extra bags for your lazy teammates who will never farm and will never use them. Of course, in this current state, the base is just one door to the loot room. You don't have to do all of this internal stuff right away. You can do it in whatever order you want. But to make the base more protected, we're going to need to add an entrance. This is going to be a little bit more complicated than just having 2 single doors leading out into the open, so just follow the steps like I do. On this triangle here, we're going to leave this open because this is going to form a jump up into the mini hangar. This will give us some extra mobility in the base if we need to come out from the top if somebody is camping the front door. The double door at the front forms a single door airlock. You can place down some more garage doors, but this door here I would make a double door just because if somebody tries to go deep from the top, you don't want them having access to your entire base. That can of course be fixed though by just putting down some shotgun traps facing the entrance. And this is what it should look like with the starter complete. At this point you can relax, put on some YouTube, and get to practicing your jackhammer spray. Once you've hit a few more nodes though, you'll want to come back to the base and build the mini hangar. The mini that you flew over with is likely out in the open, so you want to get it closed in as soon as possible. Place down a garage door leading out as well as window frames leading all around. You can use a combination of window glass and window embrasures here. This will keep it safe from splash damage from people trying to rocket in, while still giving you the ability to pick them up and shoot at people outside your base. On top of the base, we're going to seal it up with traditional roofs to make it look a little bit more roleplayer-y. At this point, you should probably have some metal that's finished cooking, so get to upgrading the rest of the base. The whole core pretty much needs to be upgraded completely to metal. The only thing that you don't need to upgrade are the stone wall frames holding up the garage doors. This one wall at the back might be covered by honeycomb. You might need to pick up a box to get access to it. The wall in between the loot rooms needs to be upgraded to prevent people from picking in. Of course, leaving it like this looks like a juicy raid with the metal walls peeking out. I would 8-rocket this in a hurry. So place down some extra stone honeycombing to make it 12. And here's a building tech tip for you. You guys are wasting 300 stone putting this wall in when doing your honeycombing. This wall doesn't need to be here. You only need one wall separating the two walls so that you can't splash both of them. If you're trash at flying minicopters like me, you might want to make a landing pad. This doesn't need to be upgraded to stone, so just leave it wood. I'm going to go a little bit more all out with mine and make it look really roleplayer-y. Here's a pro tip: if you build this base on a river, you can actually use the top area for some farming space. This won't be a great farm base, and if you're in a clan, you should probably have a dedicated farm base anyway, but if you're just looking to grow a little bit of hemp, it's perfect. You will, of course, need heaters so that your plants grow instead of dying. And one final tip, I usually place a locker in the first door airlock. This probably isn't the best place to store your kits, but I usually just use it to store a grub kit and a jackhammer anyway, so it's probably fine. Anyway, this is a pretty simple base. I don't have anything more from the video, so goodbye.